DDP put on one of his best performances in his entire career against Kamaru Usman. A lot of fans are talking about the scorecards and how one-sided it was. A lot of fans are talking about Kamaru Usman surviving that fight and how tough he is, but a lot of people are missing the biggest story in this fight. DDP has always had power, toughness, cardio, and his awkward pressure. But none of that was new. Something that was new in this fight was his restraint. Instead of chasing every finish, he picked his moments. That may be the biggest evolution in his entire career.
I'm out to the corner. You're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. I want to fight your ass.
Coach spoke about it, and that was probably the hardest thing to do tonight. Is he said, Dricus, stay composed. Be the fighter you are in the gym. You have the power to knock anybody out. Everybody knows that now. Just try and stay composed, because the more you want it, sometimes the more you go and try and just force it. And tonight, I think, you know, people might say it wasn't a finish, but I think there was like 5 finishes in that fight.
Oh my God.
It was just, every time I caught him, if you had to compare that with the Whittaker fight, which was exactly like this, I heard him and just went ballistic to try and get that finish.
Yeah.
And luckily that night I got it, but what if tonight, you know, you go for it and you get caught? Especially fighting somebody like Usman. He's been hurt before, he has. And we saw that tonight. I would hurt that guy, and 10 seconds later it looks like he just started fighting again.
The old DDP would hurt his opponents, then immediately enter the gas tank trying to finish them. That's what he did against Whittaker. It's worked a lot of times, but a lot of times it's done the opposite. But against Usman, he hurt him just like he said. He reset, stayed disciplined. So this wasn't the reckless brawler anymore. This looked like a champion who understood how to manage 5 rounds. And in my opinion, I feel like the biggest thing to come out from this fight on DDP's side is the fact that the Chimaev loss made him better. One of the main things that he did was the knee counter. It was really brilliant. Every time Usman changed levels, DDP met him with intercepting knees, perfect timing, upper body strikes. He punished the wrestling attempts instead of just defending them. That's elite preparation right there. But like I mentioned earlier, one thing that this fight did was remind everyone how tough Kamaru Usman is. Honestly speaking, he got rocked over and over again.
Oh, that's a good head kick.
Kick was clean. That's that same kick you've been hitting.
Oh, this could be it.
Fires another one up top.
And he just kept coming back.
After his one knockout, that loss that changed the trajectory of his career, I think the man knows how to defend, and he does. I don't think I landed one clean head kick every time there was a hand in between, so his defense was great. But, you know, being quite the shorter fighter, and he has a tendency to lean that way. So the head kick landed. The head kick landed, and I capitalized. I caught him through the hands, and, you know, those head kicks, they hurt. If I catch you clean with that, you're going to sleep. But, I mean, that man just, every time I rocked him, he just recovered.
Usman recovered repeatedly, stayed composed, found ways to clinch, slowed exchanges, kept himself alive. That's veteran experience.
Kamaru Usman, that man can take a bow on his career. I don't think people always realize, listen, what he's done in the sport, I always respect it, because he's beaten some of the best. But I always thought, listen, he's lower weight, he's not on my level. When I fought that guy tonight, you know, I beat him. You know, it was a 50-45 fight, but that man fought like somebody on the way up, not somebody on the way out. And I will respect that forever, and, you know, always put respect on that man's name, because he deserves it. Man, that's a one thing, and it's crazy, because when I fought Israel Adesanya, they introduced us, and I looked at him across while they were introducing him, and it was, like I always say, it was the scariest for me, the guy standing, just the aura he had. And I was like, Dricus, you have to establish your aura now. And I looked at him and you could just see, this is his place, man. He's seen it all, done it all. And he was cool as a cucumber. And you just felt the aura. I didn't feel that tonight, because I now also have the aura. I took it. But then round 4 and 5 came, and the Usman aura came out. Man, that's where I live, is in those dark spaces. But when I came out in the 4th round, usually that's where I see people, even with Adesanya, Strickland, that's usually where I see people they don't want to give up. but subconsciously they already have. I can see it. I didn't see it once. That man was out on his feet maybe 5 times, 6 times tonight. Not once. When that 4th and 5th round came, that's where I felt the Kamaru Usman aura. And once again, like I say, wow. That is, when you're getting there, I mean, round 1 and 2, I was like, Round 4 and 5, I mean, this man deserves all the flowers in the world.
But with Usman's reaction to this fight, it's like he was talking out of both sides of his mouth. He gave DDP respect just as DDP gave him respect, but I feel like he was sneaking in a lot of excuses here and there.
The determination you showed in round 2 to keep going.
Hey, determination. Shay using some words here.
Was remarkable. Remarkable determination.
I don't really like associated with me, but you know, I understand exactly what you mean. He used awkward timing, so I was never really like, oh, I'm, you know, almost out of here. But it was just, you know, there were shots. I guess when I go back and watch it, there were shots that I guess were landing to where I was kind of, you know, feeling a little out of it. But I thought I was still in there in the fight, and you know, unfortunately, it's a tough one. You know, like I said, you're using some words right now that you know, people use with me when after I'm done with. I took kind of like a thumb punch in the eye early on, and that kind of blurred the vision a bit. But you know, no excuses. It is what it is. It's pretty comfortable. Like I said, he's a big boy, and you know, when you start seeing 2 of the big boys, and he's got kind of, like I said, it's a weird rangy shots, so it's kind of a little delayed to get out of the way of those shots, you know, seeing them. But, you know, no excuses. It's tough to be on this side. I'm not used to being on this side. So, yeah, kind of sucks.
Do you feel better at 185, or are you happy to go back down to 170?
Like I said, it doesn't matter. I can make both. It's not a, 170 is a cut, but it's, at the end of the day, I'm not the biggest welterweight. So, you know, it is what it is. You deal with it. If there's opportunities there, I'm going to go there. If the opportunities up here, I'm going to stay here. So there's really it doesn't matter, you know. It sucks that I wasn't victorious tonight, because we're having a complete conversation, different conversation, had I went out and been able to execute the way that I wanted. So I guess this is my time of not being able to execute like I've done to most guys.
And take a look at the transition right here. A big punch right in Usman's ear. Look at it right there. Goes right there, right? Totally legal. No, look right there. No thumb out, no eye poke. It was fair game.
He was talking about the sequence there where it did get stopped, and he thought it was sort of like a punch and a thumb to the eye. You obviously didn't. Like, do you think if that sequence wasn't stopped, that fight would have been over with?
I mean, it's hard to say if it would have been over with, but yes. I was pretty pissed off about that, but you know, it was a proper punch. I caught him. It was 100% like you know, the same punch that Ilya got caught by with Gaethje, and that changed the whole dynamic of the fight. I caught him. I could feel immediately as I caught him. I could feel where my thumb hit him in the eye. That was trained. We drilled that as he comes in, because he dips forward, get around, hit that uppercut hook like a shovel hook, straight up. And I caught him. I could feel this part of my thumb hitting him straight. It was a closed fist, and I immediately knew. I told the ref, I said, it's not. And the ref went, okay, it wasn't an eye poke, but he already recovered. So, but I mean, it is what it is.
And Usman still has elite wrestling IQ, but he no longer has the same explosiveness. Instead of blasting through takedowns, he often had to reach. That split second made all the difference. The physical difference was very obvious. The power, the strength, the frame, everything favored Dricus. So of course it leads to the question, what's next for Kamaru Usman? And how can he improve? Like, do we still want to see him at middleweight? Personally speaking, I don't think so. But welterweight isn't easier.
Great fight, you know, fighting a much bigger guy. And he's got a great chin. He's still got it. It's not like, it's like, oh, Usman's done and he should retire. He had a great fight tonight. So, yeah, I don't know. He's got to go home, rest, heal up, and figure out what's next.
Dana is saying something true, because after the head kick knockout that Leon Edwards landed on Kamaru Usman, it's normal to assume his chin is gone, you know, because he's always fighting like he has PTSD from that fight. But the amount of, I have to say this again, the amount of toughness that Kamaru Usman showed in this fight was absolutely amazing. And even DDP talked about it earlier in the video, but he kept talking about it because that was one of the major things we saw come out of this fight. So of course, the next question with the middleweight division and DDP is who deserves the next title shot. DDP believes he earned it. In his case, he's a former champion, dominant rebound victory from this fight, already beat Sean Strickland twice, who is the current middleweight champion. The UFC now has a tough decision to make in this division. Do you reward recent dominance, even though it's against Usman, who's not really a middleweight, just moved to middleweight again? Or do you make him earn another title shot?
There's a couple other guys in the division that had some things to say to you tonight on social media. Nasruddin Imavov, I think he put sort of like a yawning emoji, and Brendan Allen put something along the lines of like DDP sucks, that's all.
Oh. Brendan Allen's a dumbass. Imavov is probably yawning because he's never fighting. So that's about it.
Not of concern to you?
No, what? No, definitely not. I mean, Brendan Allen just beat some other guy who's, I don't know, he's not even in the top 20. Is he in the top 20? I don't even know. And Imavov, he's still fighting, right?
He is, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's a couple other guys in the...
My man, Sean Strickland knows I have all the respect in the world for him. In a different life, I might even call us friends. But, you know, there's one thing that I would say. He said he'll be ready in December, fight Imavov, get a title defense. He earned that. I will give him that. And after that, I will come and take my belt back. Thank you. My man, knew I had to go and do something special tonight, and I'll go watch the fight. Hopefully it was enough to secure me that spot to get that title shot back. You know, Strickland went, he didn't defend the belt once. He went, he beat Paulo Costa, who was ranked number 10, and got a title shot again. So, yeah, I mean, but once again, I'm not begging anyone for a title shot. I've never begged for a title shot. I will earn my shot, and I stick by that. But, you know, I went out there tonight. I had fun. But, you know, what's more fun is walking out there with the title.
Hey, just tell Danny Rube to do his job and get you a title.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mr. Danny, do your job.
Can this improved version of DDP beat Hamza Chimaev? That's still a question in my opinion. The wrestling looked better. The patience looked better. The composure looked better. But would a rematch play out differently? That's one of the biggest questions in my opinion.
When it comes to Sean Strickland and DDP fighting for a third time, I honestly believe that while me as a purist, as a person that loves watching the two best in the division fight for the championship, the two guys that seem to be the people that should be fighting for the belt, the two guys that have a history, I believe that DDP being 2-0 over the champ might actually be a bad thing. Why? Because I believe that 2-0 with the last fight being so dominant, people almost don't want to go and watch another fight, because the reality is this: no matter what Strickland had done, if DDP was still the champion, I don't know that people would have ever wanted to see him fight for the belt again. So do we want to see them fight for a third time? I do, because I'm a purist. What does the general fan think? When they have seen this act twice, and it got worse the second time by DDP. I don't know. Imavov has earned, though. He has earned the opportunity. Let's see if he gets that opportunity.
Now Dricus has beat Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, and he has one more African king to defeat, and that's Francis Ngannou.
You're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. I want to fight your ass.
All right, he has to face Francis Ngannou left. But all jokes aside, I have a question for you guys. Several questions actually. Was this the best DDP performance in the UFC? Has the loss to Hamzat actually made him better? Do you think that? Was DDP right not to chase the finish? Is Kamaru Usman still elite, or has the age finally caught up to him? Does DDP deserve the next title shot immediately? And in your opinion, who wins a rematch between DDP and Hamzat Chimaev? Those are the questions I have for you guys. Please go ahead and like this video if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, as we do breakdowns like this every other week. I'll see you on the next one.